Welcome to a new episode of Sleep Journey Through Lost Worlds, your podcast for relaxing, letting go, and learning. Are you familiar with our other Sleep Journey series, such as Sleep Journey Through the Universe? Tonight, we journey together to the hills of Granada in southern Spain, to the Alhambra, a palace and fortress complex that represents the pinnacle of Islamic art and architecture in Europe. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and let yourself drift back to medieval Andalusia, to a place where water sings, light dances on carved stucco, and geometry becomes poetry written in stone. Picture yourself approaching the Alhambra on a warm evening as the sun descends toward the Sierra Nevada mountains. The palace complex rises on a hill above Granada, its red walls glowing in the golden light. The name Alhambra comes from the Arabic Al-Qala'a al-Hamra, meaning the red fortress, referring to the distinctive color of the rammed earth walls that surround the complex. These walls, built from the clay-rich soil of the surrounding hills, have protected the palace for over 7 centuries. Let your breathing slow and deepen as we explore the history of this remarkable place. The hill of the Alhambra has been fortified since Roman times, but the palace complex we know today was primarily built during the Nasrid dynasty, the last Muslim rulers of the Iberian Peninsula. Construction began in earnest in 1238 CE when Muhammad I ibn al-Ahmar, founder of the Nasrid dynasty, established his court here. Over the next 150 years, successive sultans expanded and refined the complex, creating what many consider the most exquisite example of Islamic palatial architecture in the world. The Nasrid kingdom was small, occupying only the southeastern corner of the Iberian Peninsula by the 13th century, but it was wealthy and culturally sophisticated. Granada served as a refuge for Muslim scholars, artists, and craftsmen displaced by the Christian reconquest of Spain. This concentration of talent, combined with the patronage of cultured sultans, created the conditions for extraordinary artistic achievement. The Alhambra represents not just political power, but a civilization's final flowering, a last brilliant expression of Moorish culture in Europe. Feel yourself becoming more relaxed as we enter through the Gate of Justice, the main entrance to the fortress complex. This massive gateway, built in 1348 by Sultan Yusuf I, features a distinctive horseshoe arch, a characteristic element of Islamic architecture in Spain. Above the outer arch, a carved hand appears in the keystone, while the inner arch displays a key. These symbols have inspired numerous interpretations, the hand representing the 5 pillars of Islam, the key symbolizing faith or the opening of paradise, or both together forming a mystical protection for the palace. As you pass through the gate, you enter the Alcazaba, the military fortress that forms the oldest part of the Alhambra complex. This fortification dates to the mid-13th century and served as the garrison for the palace guard. Massive towers punctuate the walls, including the Torre de la Vela, the watchtower whose bell has marked time for Granada since the Christian conquest. From these ramparts, guards could survey the surrounding countryside, monitoring approaches to the city and communicating with other fortifications through signal fires. Allow your mind to drift peacefully as we move toward the heart of the Alhambra, the Nasrid palaces, where the sultans lived and ruled. These palaces represent the finest achievement of Moorish architecture, spaces designed to evoke paradise on earth through the sophisticated manipulation of light, water, geometry, and ornament. Islamic tradition held that paradise was a garden with flowing water, and the Nasrid architects created earthly reflections of this celestial vision. The palaces consist of interconnected courtyards and chambers, each designed for specific functions and atmospheres. We begin in the Meksuar, the most public area where the Sultan conducted administrative affairs and received petitions. Though heavily modified after the Christian conquest, the Meksuar still conveys something of its original character. The ceiling features intricate geometric patterns in carved wood, while the walls bear stucco decoration with Arabic inscriptions praising God and the Sultan. A small oratory opens from the Meksuar, oriented toward Mecca, where officials could fulfill their daily prayer obligations. Breathe slowly and deeply as we enter the Court of the Myrtles, also known as the Court of the Comares. This rectangular courtyard, 140 feet long and 75 feet wide, exemplifies Islamic garden design. A long, narrow reflecting pool runs down the center, bordered by hedges of aromatic myrtle. The pool's still surface mirrors the surrounding architecture and sky, doubling the visual space and creating a sense of infinite tranquility. The sound of water trickling from fountains at each end provides a constant, soothing presence. At the northern end of the Court of the Myrtles rises the Tower of Comares, the tallest structure in the Alhambra, at 45 meters high. Within this tower lies the Hall of the Ambassadors, the throne room where the Sultan received foreign dignitaries and conducted state business. This square chamber, approximately 18 meters on each side, soars to a magnificent wooden ceiling composed of over 8,000 individual pieces assembled to create a geometric representation of the seven heavens of Islamic cosmology. The ceiling is a three-dimensional mandala, a meditation in cedar wood on divine order and celestial harmony. The walls of the Hall of the Ambassadors are covered with intricate stucco decoration organized in horizontal bands. Geometric patterns, stylized plant motifs, and bands of Arabic calligraphy cover every surface in a symphony of ornament. The inscriptions include verses from the Quran, poems praising the Sultan, and the Nasrid motto, "Wa la ghalib illa Allah," meaning there is no victor but God, repeated throughout the Alhambra as a reminder of divine sovereignty transcending earthly power. Let yourself relax even more deeply as we move to the Court of the Lions, perhaps the most famous space in the Alhambra. This courtyard, built by Sultan Muhammad V between 1362 and 1391, represents the pinnacle of Nasrid architectural achievement. The court measures approximately 92 feet by 50 feet and is surrounded by a gallery supported by 124 slender, marble columns arranged singly, in pairs, and in groups of 3 and 4. These columns, impossibly delicate in appearance, create a forest of stone that seems to defy gravity and logic. At the center of the courtyard stands the famous fountain, supported by 12 stylized marble lions, water flowing from their mouths into the basin above, then into channels that divide the courtyard into 4 quadrants representing the 4 rivers of paradise described in Islamic tradition. The fountain basin bears an Arabic inscription, a poem by Ibn Zamrak describing the lions as fierce beasts tamed by devotion to the Sultan, the water as liquid silver, and the entire courtyard as a garden surpassing paradise itself. The Court of the Lions functioned as the heart of the Sultan's private palace, surrounded by chambers for family life and intimate gatherings. To the east lies the Hall of the Kings, featuring remarkable ceiling paintings on leather showing courtly scenes, possibly including portraits of the Nasrid sultans. These paintings, unusual in Islamic art which typically avoided figural representation, may have been created by Christian artists working for Muslim patrons, demonstrating the cultural exchange that characterized medieval Andalusia. Breathe deeply and peacefully as we explore the Hall of the Two Sisters, opening from the north side of the Court of the Lions. This chamber takes its name from 2 large marble slabs in its floor, perfectly matched in their veining. The room served as the main hall of the harem, the private quarters of the Sultan's family. The walls are covered in stucco, carved into intricate arabesques and geometric patterns that seem to dissolve solid stone into lace. But the chamber's glory is its ceiling, a muqarnas dome composed of thousands of small corbelled cells arranged in geometric patterns that create a 3-dimensional honeycomb effect. The muqarnas dome of the Hall of the Two Sisters contains over 5,000 individual elements and creates an effect of stunning complexity and beauty. The Islamic architects who designed these structures understood sophisticated mathematical principles, using geometric transformations and tessellations to create patterns that could theoretically continue infinitely. Modern mathematical analysis has revealed that Alhambra decorations employ concepts related to group theory and crystallography, mathematical fields not formally developed until centuries later. Opposite the Hall of the Two Sisters, on the south side of the Court of the Lions, lies the Hall of the Abenchirages, named for a noble family who, according to legend, were massacred here during political intrigues. The chamber features another spectacular muqarnas dome, this one with a star-shaped pattern at its center. Light enters through windows at the dome's base, illuminating the intricate carving and creating ever-changing patterns of light and shadow as the sun moves across the sky. Allow your mind to drift as we consider the sophisticated hydraulic engineering that made the Alhambra's water features possible. The palace sits on a hill 150 meters above the Darro River, yet water flows throughout the complex in fountains, pools, and channels. The Nasrid engineers constructed an aqueduct called the Sultan's Channel that brought water from the mountains several miles away, using gravity and careful grading to maintain sufficient pressure. This system, built in the 13th century, still functions today, supplying water to the palace and surrounding gardens. Water in the Alhambra serves aesthetic, functional, and symbolic purposes. Aesthetically, it provides visual beauty, soothing sounds, and cooling through evaporation in the hot Andalusian climate. Functionally, it supplied drinking water and powered fountains. Symbolically, it represented paradise, divine blessing, and the Sultan's power to command natural forces. The manipulation of water throughout the complex demonstrates sophisticated understanding of hydraulics, pressure, and flow dynamics. Let yourself relax completely as we explore the general life, the Sultan's summer palace and gardens adjacent to the Alhambra proper. The name derives from Arabic Jannat al-Arif, meaning garden of the architect or garden of the overseer, though romantics prefer to translate it as garden of paradise. Built in the late 13th century, the Generalife provided a rural retreat where the Sultan could escape courtly formalities and enjoy nature. The Generalife's gardens are arranged on terraces connected by stairs and paths, taking advantage of the hillside's natural slope. Water flows through channels, fountains, and pools, creating a journey through different garden rooms, each with its own character and atmosphere. The court of the water channel features a long, narrow pool lined with water jets that arch across the surface, creating curtains of water that catch the light and fill the air with refreshing spray and the sound of falling water. The gardens we see today reflect both Islamic and later Christian influences, as successive occupants modified and added to the original Nasrid design. Cypress trees, planted after the Christian conquest, now tower over the gardens, their dark, vertical forms contrasting with the horizontal lines of hedges and water channels. Rose gardens, added in later centuries, bloom in profusion during spring and summer, filling the air with fragrance. Despite these modifications, the essential character of the Islamic garden paradise remains evident. Breathe slowly and deeply as we return to the main palace complex to explore the Palace of Charles V, a Renaissance structure built within the Alhambra after the Christian conquest. Begun in 1527, this massive square building contains a perfectly circular courtyard, one of the earliest and most influential circular courtyards of the Renaissance. The palace represents a stark contrast to the delicate Nasrid architecture surrounding it, massive, symmetrical, assertive, proclaiming Christian and Habsburg power in a space that had belonged to Muslim rulers. The juxtaposition of Charles V's palace with the Nasrid palaces creates a fascinating dialogue between different architectural philosophies. Islamic architecture at the Alhambra is intricate, complex, oriented inward toward private courtyards and gardens, emphasizing light ornament that seems to deny the solidity of walls. Renaissance architecture is monumental, symmetrical, oriented outward to impress observers, emphasizing structural mass and classical proportion. Both represent sophisticated aesthetic philosophies, different visions of beauty and power expressed in stone. Now let us pause for meditation and deep reflection. Close your eyes and focus entirely on your breath. Breathe in slowly through your nose for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Feel your lungs expanding, your chest rising. Hold gently for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now release slowly through your mouth for 6 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Feel tension flowing out with your breath. Again, in for 4, hold for 4, out for 6. Imagine yourself sitting beside a fountain in the Court of the Lions as twilight deepens. The marble columns around you catch the last light, glowing softly. Water trickles from the lion fountains, a constant, peaceful sound. The geometric patterns carved into the walls seem to shift and breathe in the fading light. Above, the first stars appear in the darkening sky. You feel completely at peace, completely present in this moment, connected to centuries of people who have experienced this same tranquility. Feel yourself part of the flow of history, a moment in the vast stream of human experience. The hands that carve these patterns, the feet that walk these courtyards, the eyes that watched water flow in these fountains belong to people like you, people who loved and feared, hoped and dreamed, experienced joy and sorrow. You are connected to them across centuries, part of the same human family, sharing the same capacity for wonder and beauty. Breathe in peace and ancient wisdom. Breathe out worry and distraction. Breathe in connection to all times and places. Breathe out feelings of isolation and insignificance. You are significant. You matter. You are part of something vast and meaningful. Simply rest in this awareness, breathing slowly, feeling your connection to earth and sky, past and present, the eternal now that contains all moments. As we prepare to conclude our journey, consider what the Alhambra teaches us about human creativity and cultural exchange. This magnificent palace was created by a civilization under existential threat, the last Muslim kingdom in Spain, gradually losing territory to Christian kingdoms expanding from the north. Yet in these circumstances, Nasrid artists and architects produced works of transcendent beauty, affirming life and culture in the face of political decline. The Alhambra reminds us that creativity flourishes not only in security, but sometimes especially in times of challenge. The Alhambra also demonstrates how different cultures can appreciate and preserve each other's achievements. When Christian forces conquered Granada in 1492, they could have destroyed the palace as a symbol of Muslim power. Instead, with some exceptions and modifications, they recognized its extraordinary beauty and chose to preserve it. Successive rulers maintained and restored the Alhambra, and in the 19th century, Romantic writers and artists rediscovered and celebrated it, inspiring conservation efforts that continue today. Modern scientific analysis continues revealing the Alhambra's secrets and sophistication. Acoustic studies show that the palaces were designed with sound in mind. Water features placed to mask outside noise. Courtyards proportioned to prevent echo while maintaining intimacy. Rooms shaped to enhance speech intelligibility. Thermal analysis demonstrates sophisticated passive climate control. Thick walls providing insulation. Water features cooling through evaporation. Courtyards creating air circulation. Orientation maximizing shade while admitting winter sun. Mathematical analysis of the Alhambra's geometric decorations has revealed patterns of remarkable complexity. Islamic artists, forbidden by religious tradition from depicting living beings in sacred contexts, developed abstract geometric art to extraordinary levels. Alhambra tessellations employ all 17 mathematically possible wallpaper symmetry groups, a complete mathematical catalog achieved through artistic intuition centuries before formal mathematical proof. This intersection of art and mathematics demonstrates that creativity and analytical thinking are not opposites, but complementary approaches to understanding and expressing truth. The Alhambra faces contemporary challenges that threaten its preservation. Tourism, while economically vital in spreading appreciation for this cultural treasure, causes wear and tear on fragile decorative surfaces. Climate change threatens the region's water supply, potentially impacting the hydraulic systems integral to the palace's design and function. Air pollution, urban development, and increasing temperatures all pose risks requiring constant vigilance and adaptation of conservation strategies. These challenges remind us that even the most beautiful human achievements rest on natural foundations. The Alhambra was built from earth, stone, and wood taken from the surrounding landscape. Its water comes from mountain streams fed by seasonal rains and snowmelt. Its gardens grow in soil enriched over millennia by natural processes. The palace exists in dynamic relationship with its environment, dependent on natural systems that sustain all life. Our planet Earth provides everything we need to create, to build, to make beautiful and meaningful things. The clay of the Alhambra's walls, the marble of its columns, the cedar of its ceilings all came from this one precious planet. Every civilization that has ever existed, every work of art ever created, every scientific discovery ever made has happened here, on this small blue world spinning through space. We have no other home, no backup planet, no alternative if we destroy the systems that sustain us. Sleep peacefully now. cradled by memories of marble courtyards and flowing water, of carved cedar ceilings and lace-like stone, of gardens where paradise was made real through human hands, guided by divine inspiration. Tomorrow when you wake, you will carry renewed appreciation for beauty in all its forms, for cultural exchange and mutual respect, for the precious earth that sustains us all and demands our protection. Rest well, dear traveler. May your dreams be filled with flowing water and starlight, with geometric patterns and flowering gardens, with the eternal peace that dwells in places made beautiful by human devotion. Good night.